What if you could take the raw talent, that relentless drive of a national champion athlete, and sort of distill it, turn it into a roadmap for greatness, not just on the field, but, in every part of life? Well, our deep dive today explores exactly that. We're drawing our insights from this really compelling presentation. It's called Beyond the Field, An Athlete's Guide to Greatness. The author is Chris Rogers. He's an author, a national champion, and also a CEO. And this source material, it's just packed with wisdom, everything from like personal transformation to really practical life skills.
Yeah, absolutely. And our mission for you today is basically to unpack this guide. It's pretty comprehensive. We'll look at how this one individual, Chris, overcame some pretty significant personal hurdles to achieve, well, incredible success. And then, crucially, we'll pull out his actual strategies. Tangible things for building a positive identity, mastering critical thinking.
Navigating complex societal issues, too.
Exactly. And preparing for college, for a career, even venturing into entrepreneurship. It covers a lot of ground.
So think of it as your shortcut, maybe. A shortcut to understanding a proven playbook for thriving. Doesn't matter what field you're playing on. So let's dive in. Okay, let's start with Chris Rogers' own story, because it really sets the stage, doesn't it? You might picture a champion athlete, maybe straight-A student from day one.
That's the typical image, yeah.
But get this. His childhood transcripts, like from 1998-99, he had an A in PE, sure, but then one B, 4 Cs, and a D,
Yep.
and the next year, even rougher. 1 C, 4 Ds, an F plus, 34 absences, 34.
Wow.
And here's maybe the most striking part. He didn't actually learn how to read until after ninth grade.
After ninth grade, that's late.
And beyond academics, his early life had other big challenges. He was apparently kicked out of his mom's house for a bit in high school, didn't even meet his father until he was 21.
So a lot of adversity there.
A lot. And yet, despite all that, he gets over 25 athletic scholarship offers from huge universities, Stanford, UCLA, Alabama.
Top tier program.
Exactly. And he played DB, defensive back, at Alabama for Coach Saban. He was part of that 2009 BCS championship team.
Okay, so the athletic side clearly clicked. But what's really remarkable, I think, isn't just that turnaround on the field, but how he completely flipped his academic path.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Well, he didn't just play for a national championship team. He earned his bachelor's degree in consumer science and then a master's in hospitality management. And not just scraped by, he made the dean's list. Graduated with over a 3.0 undergrad GPA and a 4.0 in his master's.
A 4.0 master's from where he started. That's incredible.
It really is. And it directly feeds into his core message, something he emphasizes again and again. Education is your key to success and survival. It's not just a platitude for him. He lived it.
So the big question then is how? How did he manage that transformation from those early struggles to, that level of success? The source points to his focus on overcoming adversity, obviously, but also developing a positive identity. He boils this down into Chris Rogers' 6 keys.
Ah, yes, the 6 keys.
And what's powerful about these, I think, is how they blend that resilience piece with practical, almost like relationship skills. Things you see in really high performers. Key number 1, don't fear rejection. 2, maintain a strong work ethic. And he has that great quote.
You do today what others don't.
So that you have tomorrow what others won't. Exactly. Then, appearance is critical. Never break your word integrity. Don't be afraid to ask for help. That's a big one.
Huge. Especially for athletes sometimes.
Right. And finally, always remember life isn't fair. Nobody owes you anything. You absolutely must believe in yourself first. That self-reliance piece.
It's a powerful foundation. Self-belief, work ethic, integrity, seeking help. Those are building blocks.
Definitely. And building on that foundation beyond the field, then zeroes in on some critical life skills, skills that honestly apply way beyond sports. Let's talk critical thinking and decision-making.
Okay, crucial stuff.
The guide lays out a really clear process, 7 steps in the decision-making process. It's very methodical. Identify the decision first, gather the relevant info, identify your choices.
Then weigh the options, make the actual choice, take action.
And this is key, review your decision, learn from it.
Right. That last step is often missed, isn't it? We make the decision to move on without reflecting.
Exactly. And when we connect this to the bigger picture, the source really hammers home the consequences of poor decisions. It uses these stark examples, tangible costs.
Yeah, like real dollar amounts, $10 million, $50 million, $8 million, gone. Even $60 million plus a hand, it mentions. Heavy stuff.
And beyond the money, it talks about the intangible costs. Career hits, brand damage, reputation.
Right, and even physical and mental health impacts. These aren't small things.
So it really begs the question, How do you equip yourself or anyone you're mentoring to avoid those massive pitfalls?
Well, the guide argues it starts with that critical thinking piece we mentioned.
Right. And it defines critical thinking pretty clearly.
Mhm.
Thinking logically, rationally, independently. It's not just about being smart, it's about how you think. It even gives steps for that too. Think objectively, identify the arguments being made, evaluate different points of view.
Recognize weaknesses in arguments, understand the implications of different choices, choose a POV.
And then be able to make a solid argument for why your viewpoint is the best choice. It's
Yeah.
about structured reasoning.
And a core part of that, which the guide stresses, is questioning the source itself. You have to be discerning.
How so?
It prompts you to ask things like, who actually said or did this? Does this person have a bias? Do they have a vested interest in me believing this?
A good question.
And also, what exactly did they say or do? Is it the whole truth? Or is it maybe exaggerated, spun? It's about media literacy, essentially, being an active thinker.
That makes sense. Another really vital skill the program highlights is time management. Oh man, this is one so many people struggle with, right? Always feeling behind.
Tell me about it. Yeah.
But the guide offers some really practical tips. Make daily lists simple but effective. Delegate tasks when you can.
And he adds that important qualifier. Delegate to the right people.
Yes. Don't just dump tasks. Don't procrastinate. Break down big projects. I liked the example of reading a 300-page novel in 3 weeks. Seems daunting, but
It's just 15 pages a day, manageable chunks.
exactly. Take planned breaks, like 20 minutes to re-energize. Don't just grind yourself down. And crucially, learn to say no.
That might be the hardest one on the list for many people, protecting your time.
Definitely. So, okay, we have these individual skills. Self-belief, decision-making, critical thinking, time management. How do these then help you understand the bigger world? This is where the deep dive takes a bit of a surprising turn, I thought, into U.S. government and civics.
Yeah, it might seem like a jump, but it connects to that idea of navigating the world effectively, being an informed citizen.
The guide starts by providing some context, pointing out the U.S. is, historically speaking, very young, less than 250 years old, compared to, say, Japan, estimated at 35,000 years, yet America's a superpower.
Right, and it encourages what it calls a deeper understanding of the founding documents, looking at them with, let's say, critical eyes.
Like the Declaration of Independence.
Exactly. It famously states all men are created equal, with rights like life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But the guide pushes you to ask, how did that statement square with the reality at the time?
The reality being.
Well, the source points out the irony that the Continental Army itself was filled with enslaved people who wouldn't gain a single one of those rights because they weren't considered citizens. It's a complex legacy.
And that complexity continued, right, with things like the Articles of Confederation and the Three-Fifths Compromise.
Counting enslaved individuals as 35 a person for population counts. This directly benefited Southern states by giving them more representation in the House based on a population denied basic rights.
So these historical foundations, the guide argues, connect to later systemic issues.
That's the connection it draws. It details things like Jim Crow laws, which legalized racial segregation under that separate but equal doctrine.
Which wasn't really equal in practice.
It's not at all. Colored facilities were deliberately underfunded, kept in poor condition. These laws created systemic barriers, economic, social, educational discrimination. Think discriminatory bank lending, corporate hiring practices.
It's about understanding how these systems were built.
Precisely. And the guide suggests that understanding this history helps anyone, especially someone in the public eye, like an athlete, navigate the social justice issues that inevitably come up, to be a more conscious citizen, a more informed leader.
The guide also goes into the war on drugs and the concept of a prison pipeline, starting with Nixon in '71, over $1 trillion spent.
Yeah, and the stats it highlights are pretty stark. 1.5 million drug arrests per year, 80% just for simple possession.
And the racial disparities are significant. It notes Black and Latino Americans are 3 times more likely to be arrested and jailed for drugs, making up 77% of those incarcerated for drug offenses.
Right, and this leads the source to question the stated intention versus perhaps the actual impact or even underlying motives.
It includes that quote from Nixon's former domestic policy chief.
Yeah, the one basically saying they couldn't make being anti-war, being black illegal, but by associating hippies with marijuana and black communities with heroin, and then criminalizing both heavily.
They could disrupt those communities. It's a really provocative statement presented in the source.
It is. It challenges you to think critically about policy and its consequences.
And then the guide connects this to sports, activism, consciousness. It brings up figures like Muhammad Ali.
Refusing the draft for the Vietnam War, a huge moment impacting his career, but cementing his legacy in social justice advocacy.
And more recently, Colin Kaepernick kneeling during the anthem to protest police brutality.
Right. So the takeaway here seems to be that understanding these deeper societal currents, this history, this context, is crucial, especially if you have a platform. It's part of being prepared for the world beyond the field.
Okay, so let's shift gears now towards the really practical side of building your future. Starting with college readiness. This is aimed particularly at aspiring student athletes. The source breaks down the NCAA Eligibility Center requirements. You've got three basic statuses: redshirt, non-qualifier, and full qualifier.
Right. Redshirt means you practice, you're at the school, but you can't play games your first year. Non-qualifier, you don't meet the academic standards, you lose eligibility. Full qualifier is the goal, meet all requirements, play right away.
And what's really insightful here, I thought, was the detail on the NCAA core GPA formula. It's not just your overall high school GPA.
No, it's specific. It focuses on your grades in certain core academic subjects. And there's a sliding scale that connects this core GPA to the ACT or SAT score you need.
Can you give an example of how that works?
Sure. The guide gives one. A student might have a 2.6 overall GPA, but only a 2.0 core GPA in those key NCAA subjects. They might need a pretty high ACT score, say 22, just to get a scholarship, and it'd still be a redshirt, ineligible that first year. But contrast that with someone who has maybe a lower overall GPA, but a stronger 2.4 core GPA. They might only need an ACT of 18 to be a full qualifier. And if you have a really strong 3.2 core GPA, you might only need a 12 on the ACT.
Wow, so focusing on those specific core courses really pays off for eligibility. It's strategic.
Very strategic. It's like training for specific skills on the field, but in the classroom.
And the guide gives some practical tips for the ACT too. Use the specific NCAA Eligibility Center code 9999. Start taking the test early. Don't wait till the last minute.
And you can superscore.
Right. Combine your best section scores from different test attempts. That's a huge advantage.
Definitely.
It even gives you like a script for how to get yourself recruited, a step-by-step approach.
Oh, yeah. What does it suggest?
Basically, Google the school's staff directory, find the right assistant coach for your position or area, and then it gives you almost word for word what to say on that first call.
Like cold calling a coach.
Sort of, yeah. It suggests something like, hello, my name is your name. I'm your year at your high school in your city, state. I play your position. I am height, weight, run at your time. Last season, I had your key stats. Coach, I really like your university. Can I please send you some film on me, sir?
Wow, that's direct, but concise. Gives them all the key info right away.
Exactly. It takes the guesswork out of it. Now, moving beyond college into career preparedness, a huge focus here is financial literacy.
This is critical, especially given the potential earnings in pro sports, but also the risks.
Yeah, the source has this section called CASSH, stands for Changing Athletes' Spending Habits. And the statistics it shares are, well, they're shocking.
Let's hear them.
Get this. After just 3 to 5 years of retirement, 78% of former NFL players are broke or facing serious financial distress. 78%.
Wow. 3 to 5 years isn't long at all.
Nope. And for former NBA players, it's 60% within 5 years of retirement.
60%. Why? What does the guide say causes this?
It attributes it largely to being conditioned to value a materialistic lifestyle. A lifestyle that, frankly, most people, even multimillionaires, simply can't sustain long-term once the big paychecks stop.
Right. The income drops, but the spending habits don't adjust quickly enough.
Exactly. Which leads to the question, what's the power of good credit in maybe preventing some of that downfall?
A very important question. How does the guide illustrate that?
With really compelling examples. It compares two people buying, say, a $1.5 million home. Someone with a high credit score gets a good interest rate, maybe 4%. Someone with a lower score gets a higher rate.
Okay.
That person with the good credit, they save $5,000 every single month compared to the person with the higher rate.
$5,000 a month? That's huge.
Over the life of a 30-year mortgage, that's $1.8 million saved, just from having good credit.
Incredible. It really highlights the long-term impact of financial decisions.
And even on a smaller scale, like a $150,000 home, The difference is still $500 a month or $180,000 over 30 years. It just makes the case so clearly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So manage your credit well. What else does it say about credit?
It defines credit score simply a number lenders use to judge your risk. And it gives that key practical tip. Try to only spend up to 30% of your available credit limit on your cards. Going over that can actually hurt your score even if you pay it off.
Good rule of thumb. Keep that utilization low.
Then the guide offers some really invaluable interview preparation tips and rules for business etiquette. These apply pretty much anywhere, right? First job or CEO level.
Definitely.
What are some highlights? Always state your full name clearly. Stand up when you're introduced to someone. Firm handshake, eye contact, smile the basics, but important. Always, always send a thank you note after an interview or important meeting.
Still matters in the digital age.
Apparently so, according to this guide. Silence your phone, obviously. Be on time, actually. Be early. 15 minutes early is ideal.
Shows respect for their time.
Right. Communicate thoughtfully, the classic, don't say anything you wouldn't want on the front page rule. Dress appropriately for the situation. Stay neutral on potentially divisive topics like politics and religion in professional settings.
Smart advice.
Use proper grammar in emails. And focus on building real relationships, not just transactional ones.
That relationship piece is key. What about the interview questions themselves? Does it get into types of questions?
It does. It breaks them down. You've got behavioral questions.
The tell me about a time when type questions.
Exactly. And it recommends using the STAR method to answer those. Situation, task, action, result. It gives your answer structure.
Good framework.
Then there are practical questions, which are more job-specific skills, and technical questions.
Technical. Like what?
Well, it gives that classic, maybe quirky example, why are manhole covers round?
What are those brain teaser questions?
Right. And the guide explains the point of those isn't usually to find the one correct answer. It's more about seeing how you think.
Assessing your approach.
Yeah, your psychological approach, your creativity, your confidence, how you think on your feet under a bit of pressure. It's about the process, not just the answer.
That makes sense. It's a way to gauge problem-solving skills.
Okay, so finally, for people thinking truly beyond the field, maybe starting their own thing, there's an introduction to entrepreneurship.
High risk, high reward territory.
Definitely. But the guide points to successful examples like Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg, people who saw a need and created a solution to fill it.
The classic entrepreneurial journey.
And it provides a pretty clear 6-step foundational structure for getting started, focused on the strategic planning.
Okay, what are the steps?
1, choose a name. Think about the essence, your customers, spelling, and check if the domain name is available, using sites like GoDaddy.
Practical first step.
2, create a logo. Design it around the name. Consider style, font, colors. It even suggests using services like 99 Designs if you're not a designer.
Smart. Leverage expertise.
3, incorporation and registration. Making it official. Recognizing the business legally. Protecting intellectual property. It advises consulting a lawyer or using services like LegalZoom.
Important legal groundwork.
4, create your product. Define it clearly. What form does it take? How is it made? What resources and capital do you need? Getting specific.
The core offering.
5, starting your business plan. This is the big one. Outline the problem you solve, your solution, your philosophy, how the product works, who your target market is.
Competitive landscape, marketing plan.
Right, the 4 Ps, product, price, place, promotion, your team.
Yeah.
And, crucially, your financial projections.
The roadmap.
And finally, step 6, setting up your website, your online presence. Decide whether to build from scratch or use platforms like Squarespace or GoDaddy's website builder.
So a pretty comprehensive overview of those initial stages.
Yeah, it gives you a solid framework to start thinking strategically. So, wrapping this all up, what does this deep dive mean for you, our listener? We've gone from Chris Rogers' really personal journey, overcoming huge adversity, all the way to the nuts and bolts of financial literacy, critical thinking, even starting a business. What it shows, I think, is that greatness isn't some magic quality reserved for athletes on a field.
No, it seems to be presented as a cultivated mindset and a set of practical, transferable skills that really anyone can develop with focus.
If we connect this back to that central theme, that quote from Rogers.
Education is your key to success and survival.
Exactly. The whole program really underscores that. And it defines education really broadly, doesn't it? It's not just formal schooling.
Not at all. As Rogers' own story shows, it extends far beyond the classroom. It's about continuous learning, thinking strategically, understanding the world's complexities, the history, the systems. Also, you can navigate your own path more effectively.
So our deep dive today, it seems to reveal that whether you're facing college applications, prepping for a job interview, or even thinking about building your own company,
Yeah.
the underlying principles for achieving success, for achieving that greatness, are fundamentally the same. It comes back to that discipline.
Applying that same dedication, that strategic preparation you see in elite athletes, but applying it to the game of your own life, whatever that looks like.
Right. So as you reflect on everything we've unpacked today, maybe here's a final thought to leave you with. How will you apply that same level of dedication and strategic prep to your own life? What specific key or step from this guide, from Chris Rogers' experience, will you focus on first? What's the next move to unlock your next level of greatness beyond whatever field you're currently on?